Morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is April 10th. Good morning to everybody. Wild, wild, wild day in the markets yesterday. We pushed way down and then we recovered, which was expected. Um, Being at today's CPI, you have a little range in the overnight, which is waiting for CPI basically. That's going to report in 20 minutes, and we'll do that together live. And yesterday was a look above and fail. I did take a nice short. Good morning, Chief. I did take a short. Um, that was a pretty nice winner, over 250% winner. I can go over that in a little bit. I did go over that yesterday pre-market, um, so it was a beautiful setup. I mean, I actually would have went long too, but sometimes you're in a trade, you get mentally exhausted. I was just like, you know what, and it winded up would have worked, but it doesn't matter. Good day, good day. Can't complain. And now we got a big day today ahead of us. All right. So without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile, market profile to find structure in this market, along with anchor VWAPs, gamma exposure level, supply and demand, and the most traded price of the year, the rolling month, the rolling week, and the previous day. All help me find structure in the market, find who's in charge, then what enables me to put risk on, right? To possibly put a trade on. Now that's the structure I use. But then when I'm going to analyze the trade, I use a footprint chart, internals and stuff like that to just see what the actual analysis of the market when it opens happens, right? That's when the beauty happens. Large orders just hitting the tape right now in my ear. I don't know if you can hear that, but something's moving. I don't know exactly which. But right now, the top of the session at ES I'm looking at. So we'll get into all that, and of course we'll go live with the CPI prints. All right. So if you haven't already, subscribe, set an alert. That means a lot. All right. Of course, if you like the content, please give me a thumbs up or a like. And as always, you can follow me on X, and that's at Gonzo719. Okay. Now, let's get right into the futures watch list. Okay. This will change, all right, once that CPI comes out, but we got to go what's going on here. Silver is up 0.79%. Crude, I just saw Hamas doesn't want to do a ceasefire, so crude is starting to get lively. That's up 0.72%. Russell's up 0.58. The Dow's up 0.27. 30-year bonds being bought. ES up 0.23. The Nasdaq's up 0.22. Gold's up 0.19. Finally figured out the TNX. TNX had to add that CGI to the end of that, and now that will report at 820. All right, the dollar's down 0.09. That will change. Bitcoin's down 0.12. Ether down 0.23, and the VIX is down 0.33. We are hovering around a 15 VIX. I know it's 14.93, but it's a 15 VIX. So that will probably change too once this number comes out. Okay, and this is setting up still for a huge breakout basically. So, and of course, this is what happens when these numbers come around, right? The market kind of can't decide what to do and settles on an area at the balance, and that's what it's doing. No surprise. Let's look at the Mag 7 Plus. Clocking in here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Roblox is up 3.61%. Let's see. Let's see here. Roblox ramps up push to attract advertisers. Okay, so that's a healthy move. I know I saw Baba get a price target maintained at like 103, but it also Jack Ma is doing something I saw on the news. So that's pretty big. So Google's up 0.7, Tesla's up 0.62. All right, now laggards don't really have except Nvidia, and surprisingly Nvidia got a price target raised by Morgan Stanley this morning, but Nvidia finally is having some type of pullback, so that's interesting, right? So moving on, let's go to the top sector stocks. Okay, leading the pack, Eli Lilly up 0.5, Chevron, Exxon, getting some love. All right, no laggards to speak of here. No laggards. Okay, let's go to my swing trade list. and you'll find some things going on there. Okay, so Delta Airlines reported. Looks like they're looking good for the future. So airlines in sympathy are going up. So you got Delta, United Airlines, I think it's American Airlines or Alaska Airlines. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Airlines. Taiwan Semiconductor still moving up. Southwest Airlines moving up. JetBlue, obviously all in sympathy, right? So let's go to laggards. Soundhound. I just saw they're offering up like 150 million shares or something like that. So that's sending the stock down. Supermicro Computers is pulling back. I saw it went past the 20-day simple moving average. All right. Ring Central and see Donald Trump stock, and that's about it. All right. That's about it. Let's go back here and let's go back to the top sectors and let's go to sectors. Sectors, how we looking? Energy leading the pack, up 0.25, followed by staples, followed by financials. This will all change at 8:30. No laggard, no laggard to speak of. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to our economic calendar today, and big, 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 big. We have. Now I went over this the other day, but let's go over it now. Okay, so core inflation. This is looking. Forecast is 3.7, previously 3.8. So they're looking down to tick down 0.1 for core inflation. Okay, year over year. The headline forecast 3.4, previous 3.2. They're expecting a 0.2 rise. Okay, so we all know how this works. If it's hot, the number's hot. It's not good, right? Core, if it's hot, not good. Right, so basically if it goes under, that's going to be bullish. So just have to see. Okay, just have to see. We had Fed Bowman speaking at 8:45 a.m. right after this news comes out. Okay, then Fed Goolsbee at 12:45. Okay, then we have a 10-year auction at 1 p.m. Then we also have today the FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. So it should be interesting, right? Got the FOMC minutes and CPI today. Pretty interesting. And you got crude inventories, all right, at 10:30. That doesn't really move the market usually, but it moves crude. So that's what we're looking at today for that. All right. Now, as far as upgrades, downgrades, let's just go see if we can refresh this list. There's not much in this list. Let's see if this has been refreshed. All right. So let's look at this together. Let's see upgraded. All right. And I'm only going to go over ones that are popular stocks here. So Kava upgraded. All right. Taiwan Semiconductor target was raised. Let's see. Block target raised. So these are some. Let's see. Coinbase target raised from 92 to 110. No, 92 to 110. Jesus, it's way past that target. Lowered on Tesla. All right. That doesn't mean these affect the stocks. It's just what's going on. And again, I'm just looking at popular stocks that I look at that move markets. Okay. Cheesecake Factory reiterated. All right. Blah, 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 blah. Reiterated. I don't really care about that. Initiated. Let's see. Fang, Diamondback Energy initiated equal weight. I'm just trying to see here. CBX. All right. There's one. Chevron initiated overweight. Price target 203. That's good for Chevron holders. ConocoPhillips, overweight. Price target 158. Interesting, right? Bunch of energy in here. Now, that's no surprise with the geopolitical things, okay? That's what's going on there. Now, the juice had some things yesterday. Fed Bostic, if this inflation pace resumes, could pull cuts forward. That was at 326. At 325, Fed Bostic, I can eliminate the possibility that rate cuts move even further out. I can't eliminate. All right, that's really what was going on in the juice there. Let's go on here. Fitch cuts China's credit rating outlook. All right, Delta start airline reporting season. Crude climbs, continued Middle East worries. All right, that we all know that already. All right, let's look at some other news here. All right, Delta, we already know about that. All right, I'm just trying to see anything that stands out here. I see. Here's the Baba News. Co-founder Jack Ma has penned a lengthy memo to employees that expresses support for the internet giant's restructuring efforts. Okay. I saw this too. The company has assembled Apple Company has assembled 14 billion worth of iPhones in India in fiscal 2024. Let's see here. Now, banking earnings are starting on Friday this week. Just trying to see big news, okay? Just big. Taiwan Semiconductor, we already know about those government grants, but let's see. Taiwan chipmaker reported a 16.5 rise in the first quarter revenue. All right, there you go. Beating market expectations at the high of the company's own guidance. That's why it's taking off. Okay, and let's see here. Occidental Petroleum. Steven raises target price from 77 from 74. Okay, forecasting that oil prices will strengthen further on supply-demand fundamentals and rising geopolitical risks. All right, Tesla got a price target cut. That's what's going on in the news. All right, that's what's going on in the news. Now, we can quickly look at these daily charts. We got 10-year yield. Finally, I got it reporting here. I knew you would like that, Chief. 10-year yield now is down 0.46. Okay, bonds are being bought. So, but that will all change with CPI. All right. We can look at these daily charts real quick. All right, daily charts. All right. So let's get into this here. Look how this market's been looking. We're in that. Okay, let's get a little closer here. All right. Now, you can just see this market around this big bearish engulfing candle, right? So you got this big candle. And then we just been in a range, right? So these are the highs, that's been the highs, 520, right? 520. The lows down here, 514. We were in this little baby range, right? You had an inside day. We broke and fell all the way here and then recovered. Okay, you can see this area right here is congested. Okay, right now we're at 520, 14. We are right here in the middle of yesterday's range. Not too much analyzation right now, just because we're waiting on big news. Okay, in the Qs, big candle again. The Qs broke the previous day's lows. Couldn't go down to this low, right? But this is the 50-day moving average. Okay, that was all they had. All they had there. Okay, and then pushed right up at this high right here, 443. Okay, that's been resistance. Currently at 442.85. We're about right there at the upper portion of the range in the Qs. Okay, now what I could show you is just show you the gamma levels. Hold on a second here. I'm not on the right page. Hold on. I will give you this. Give me a second. I just set this up, so I just wanted to show you guys right there. Okay. So I just wanted to show you guys. Oh, it's not there anymore. Okay, because I updated the gamma levels. This is a huge gamma level in the SPY yesterday, 515. Big negative gamma level. So once it hit that and also was in demand in futures, pretty much thought that would be the end, and it was, right? This has been gotten rid of, but 438 was a huge negative gamma level in Qs. That was there yesterday, but I updated the gamma level, so that must be not anymore important, but that was yesterday. So I thought, and that was also in demand in the futures. So that was a reason why I thought at that point it was probably going to revert back to the mean, which did. No surprise there. Okay. So that's what's going on there. Now, the 10-year yield. Now, what they did with the 10-year yield is like it only goes back to like to the 5th of April. You can't like see anything previous to that, which is unfortunate. So now the 10-year yield is here. So you notice it went all the way up to 4.4, dropped, and now today we're just chilling down here. Okay. So, waiting for the big news in about 5 minutes. Okay, let's look at that VIX. And of course, this is the triple-headed monster. It's back in force. Okay, let's look at that VIX. And I kept saying we have to hold over 15 to get some volatility. We have been holding 15, right? We were even holding 16, but we're back to 15. All right, so keep an eye on that. Now the dollar. Dollar's been making swing low, kind of made a double bottom here, and then a double top here, hovering in this web of moving averages, right? The 20, the 90 MA daily, the 50, the 200. It's just in a web. All right, that will move today, somewhere. I don't know where. Okay, that will move somewhere. All right, 5 minutes to go. Okay, 5 minutes to go to this news drops. We can go right into yesterday, what happened to yesterday, why it happened, what I said pre-market. Okay, give me a sec while I pull that up. Let's go right into the futures, the market profile, why this happened, why I use market profile, why I use volume profile, right? So it's a beautiful thing when you have market profile and you're looking at it with the overnight sessions, right? It changes the way you look at the market. That's why I love looking at it broken out, because otherwise all you have is real-time trading hours. You don't look at it like this, right? So we were just want to show you everybody that showed everybody this. This is ultimate balance, right? Most traded price of the month and the week. I'm sorry, most traded price of the month and week 52.55. Okay, we're just traversing this. Boop, 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 right? And just what that means is when you leave this area, up or down, causes a big move. That's ultimate balance, okay? Now, this profile's changed, but this profile was like more like this, leading up to yesterday, okay? And I said probabilities we don't make a big move, but I said if we did, or I said I literally can go back to my video. I drew it out. I said if we come into these single prints and we fail, that's the move. And I said if we come down here, hold, and break these lows, that would be a look above and fail and balance, you're going to run. You could look at my video yesterday. The exact drawing was just that. It's exactly what happened. Okay. Now, if I break it out, let's break that out. Let's break out what happened yesterday. Okay, this is the move. Right? It's exactly what happened. We opened here. Look at this long activity. That was it. I got short in the SPY right up here, right here. Right above here, actually, like here. And then it was just like, boom. And what did we do? We balanced here. Right at this big level, which I expected. But whenever you're in balance, okay, balance rules is usually when you go to the top of the range and you fail to break out. When you go back, you usually go back and traverse the range right here. Now, it always can cause a big move because now what happened, right? You have longs from here, 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 and here will cover, and that makes the big move happen, and we went right into a demand zone. Okay? That's what happened. All right, and then on top of that, once we were down here, sellers ran out of steam. Now you have to think tomorrow's news, there's indecision, you go back. You go back to the big level. It's like a rubber band. Okay? It's like a rubber band. Now, we got about 30 seconds. I'm going to change over here to an hourly chart. We'll look at the news together. We'll move right over to the hourly chart. There it is. Early. People hitting the tape early. That's interesting. Look at that big move already. The news didn't come out yet. Boom. All right, now let's look at this together. All right, let's go with the results here. What do we got? Woo! This is moving down, baby. Oh boy. Okay. So it's zero point 0.1 over what they thought for the headline. That's why we're moving down. Big time, big orders hitting the tape. All right. All right. Now core inflation expected 3.7. Guess what? It's 3.8. So the point 0.1 tick did not go down. Okay? Did not. Stayed the same. So this is bearish. This is bearish. Okay, you can see you're probably hearing there's large orders hitting my ear. That's just large orders hitting the tape. Okay. So this is what I said. You have ultimate balance, right? This even fuels the move more. Guess what's happening? Longs and futures are liquidating their positions right now. That's exactly what's happening right now. And we're in a demand zone. Okay. Now this trend line's kind of been supportive, so you zoom out here. Look at this trend line in futures. It doesn't have to be perfect. See all those touches? We're there again. Okay? Just want to show you that. Now we're in demand right now, and let's see if buyers come back. Okay? Now, big orders still hitting the tape. Okay? Jesus. All right, now we just blew through this demand zone. That is done. That demand zone's done. This supply zone's done, but we have a new one. Let's fix that right there. Oop, that's not what I want to do. Okay. Wow. Wowzer, wowzer. All right. You can see, I'll just throw up the dual market profiles. You can see the NASDAQ and the ES together. We're in demand in NASDAQ. That doesn't mean much with news, but it is getting buyers here, but who knows? This is not great. Now the thing is, can you sustain it? Can you sustain it? Now, important thing to note, going back to this chart, okay? The most traded price of this year now is 452.37 in the ES right here. Okay, so you have the 52.37. You have the 52.55 is the most traded price of the month and the week. Guess what price is right now? Right here. That's bearish, okay? So let's see what happens here. If this market shrugs us off, geez, I mean, it could. It definitely could. So that trend line right now is acting as support. I'm seeing time and sales, and there's some aggressive buyers coming in right now. So I can show you guys that. Let's see the footprint. Let's see. There's time and sales in my footprint chart. So that's aggressive sellers, aggressive buyers. But when you hear alarm, that's 100 lot. 100 lot buyer or seller that happens. So you just have to see what happens now. Okay. Now we can also look at this NASDAQ together too. And look at that level in the NASDAQ, boy. Woo! You got the most traded price, 182.84 right there. right? That's just, look at that profile. It's just like, poof, that price. Now we got this, you got this top wedge here that right there, brought it up there, and then boom, we're in this demand right here. That's the end of it right there, and it's holding. That's holding, but it's used up. So this is the 50-day moving average in futures. So we're below that in the NASDAQ. Okay. Now that I said all that, okay, I would suspect the dollar's up. Let's look at the watch list here. Yes. All right. Dollar is up. VIX is at 15.86. 10-year yield is up 2.77% to 4.48 yield. 4.5 is a key resistance. Large orders, large sellers coming back in now. Okay. The dollar is up 0.55. Crude is up 0.39. Silver's down. Gold's down. Dow's down 0.94. ES down 1.12%. Wow, big sellers hitting the tape. Big sellers hitting the tape. Let me show you guys what that looks like real quick. Look at that. And that hot pink means that's aggressive sellers hitting the bid. Okay. And that little L means low a day. So large orders coming in. Right. Very large orders. Woof. See the large orders coming in? See that? Those orange are down ticks. That's 112 lots down tick. All right. Big move right now. Big move. Let's look at this. Broke that demand zone in the NASDAQ. Okay. Now we're going to go to the next demand zone. Do we get a pop? Now remember, we were in ultimate balance. We went back there. Okay, we went back there. Okay, let's go back to the list real quick. Now look at these down. Down 1.38%. NASDAQ down 1.5%. Bitcoin down 1.76%. Ether down 2%. The Russell's getting murdered. It's down 3%. Okay. Now we are getting some buying, which in that demand, right? That NASDAQ demand is getting some buying. And we're also at a key level. We're at last week's lows around in the NASDAQ, okay? So let's look at that really quickly. All right, so let's look at right here. Here's the Qs, right? So the Qs, last week's lows 435. We're currently at 435.80. So that's last week's low. So that's a key level. All right, now in the SPY, currently we're at 512.50. Look at last week's lows, 512.76. So we're at last week's lows. Just keep that in mind. That's where we're at. That's why we should get a little bit of a bounce and you get a decision made here. We're at the next demand zone in the ES. Now you can see the market profile here. You're in demand here. You're in demand in the ES. You use the whole thing up down to the bottom tick. NASDAQ pushed into demand and we're popping out. Remember, I also just told you it's weekly lows. Last week's lows. Key. If you break through those today, that should be interesting. That should be very interesting. This is big. Okay. So the ES is about to break that demand. It almost did, I think almost already. So we're going to have a ton of single prints here. Very interesting. All right, now if we look at the Mag 7, let's look at those. And let's just see how this is shaping out. Roblox was up like 3 something percent. Still good. Damn, large orders hitting that tape. All right, so what's changed here? All right, Apple's down, Google's down, Boeing, JP Morgan. Now get to the big boys. Let's get to the big ones. Tesla down 2.49%. AMD down 2.39%. Coinbase 2.35. Snow down 2%. Meta down 1.88. Nvidia is down 1.84, down to 837. 837. Netflix down 1.44%. Microsoft down 1.24%. Microsoft's key levels 420. 420. Okay. So that's the NASDAQ. All right, let's push it over. So here we broke this demand. That's done. This demand is broken. You can see the relative volume over here up big time. No surprise there. Wow, this is crazy. This might be the catalyst where you get a significant pullback because this market's been on fire. All right. Pretty soon you're going to reach the 50-day moving average in the futures. Okay, so if I zoom it out here, right here, the 50-day moving average is right here, 51.72. There's a demand right here. I'm going to call it right now. If we dip into here, the 50-day moving average, into this demand, I would expect a bounce. Okay, in futures, 51.72. I would say 51.70 to 51.65, expect a bounce. Okay, let's zoom out here to more of a 4-hour chart. And let's look at what we're looking at here. This is what's going on in a big picture. I told you that trend line right here, that's been broken now. Okay, this swing low has been broken. We're looking at the 50-day moving average in the futures. We're looking at this demand right here. I would expect to get a bounce. Okay, I would expect to get a bounce. He did hit a naked VPOC here, right here. Okay, we could zoom out a little more here just to show you on this 4-hour chart. And notice too, we came right up to this trend line and got sold. Okay. You got a lot of stuff over here to the left, right? You got to cut through. That's why I'm saying if we come push down into here, I expect a bounce. Okay. So now it's all of a question of, do we get support here? Right? How far can we go? Now, if we look at something, let me see here. The expected move today. I think I'm going to add that here. Let's add it over here. So I'm going to show you this real quick. I'm just going to add this here. Something I like to put on my charts. I have them on other charts. I just don't. Okay. So currently, market hasn't opened yet, but the expected move is 4.7, $4.70 from yesterday's close. Yesterday's close was 519.32. So 470, you're looking at what is that, 5? My math was defeating me right. Let's just say it's 5, so 514, something like that. We're already past the expected move. All right, in the NASDAQ, you're expected $5.40, so from 542, let's just call it 437. So we're already below the expected move. Now just to explain expected moves. Expected moves work 70% of the time. Doesn't mean it's 100%, right? But that's 70% of the time they stay within the expected moves. The expected moves comes from the options market. Okay? So they basically forecast it based on the options, okay? And tell you what the expected move is. Now we're getting some bounce here, right? We didn't quite hit the 50-day simple moving average. Yes, we did. We kind of bounced off it a little bit in futures, um, a little bit here. We did actually. This line probably it's really. Let me see if I can. Let's put up this chart here. Let's go right here. Let's just put up ES. See how it's pushing on last week's lows? Right there. So very important to look at that, right? Last week's lows. Notice it passed it. Now it's holding it. Don't know if we bounce. I don't know. Okay, but it's getting some buyers now. So just you gotta be cognizant of that. Let's look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ. Notice it hit the 50-day moving average, okay? And the last week's lows. Look at that. It didn't even go past last week's lows. So people could be looking at this dip opportunity. You have to look at both sides. Okay. Now this is a continuous contract. I don't want to get too in the weeds on this, but if I put it in, let's see, let me put it in this way. It might look a little different. The M24. Yeah. See, this is how I look at the market. Back adjusted. So the 50-day moving average is here. Okay. But the last week's lows are the same. Okay. So my futures charts looks at back adjusted. See, the 50-day moving average is up here, but continuous contract, it's hitting the 50-day moving average now. I don't want to confuse everybody. All right, so even if I change this to ES, now it should look like what my futures look like. See, here's the 50-day moving average into what I see. It almost hit it. Doesn't matter. The last week's lows is still what's important. But there's back adjusted and continuous contract. So this is like a wait and see here. Okay. Now moving back here. Okay. Now look, we're bouncing. This is no surprise. Last week lows, 50-day moving average in the futures. We're bouncing. Now, the whole thing is, do you get continuation? And remember, I said we extended the expected move already. It doesn't mean we can't, whenever you have a big move like this, it doesn't mean that we're just going to go like that. Okay? What could definitely happen is we do this. The move happened, right? We could balance it. We could balance for the rest of the day. Let the market digest this move. We have to see. Okay, now a couple things here. Let's go over. So I see a lot of buying orders coming in time and sales. Okay, so let's go over to market profile and volume profile, the zoomed in version. Okay, and then we'll wrap it up here. Big move. Okay. Okay, so this is the ES. And then we're going to map out what I would say to look out for, because remember, there's a lot left pre-market overnight session to happen. All this is single prints. You can see the white. Okay. That's the emotional selling. Look how thin that volume is. So susceptible to get cleaned. Susceptible to get cleaned. There's your 50-day moving average. Here's the man down here. Okay, I just showed you that on the charts. Okay. Now, the first level I'm going to look at is the midpoint of this move. the 50% Fibonacci retracement, 52.32. What does that line up with? Guess what? Yesterday's most traded price and this year's most traded price. Okay, so you could get some buying up here, but that's the test. Can you cross that? Because you could do this. You could roll back over. Okay, so that's a level I'm going to keep in mind. That's a big level. Okay, like I said, there is a chance that we just do this, because we are gapping down now. Here's yesterday's lows. That's another level to be cognizant of, 52.08, 52.09. Okay, we could definitely do this and do this and test the 50-day moving average in this demand. Okay, so gap rules, what are they? Okay, gap rules, what are they? You can do a gap and go. That's the most bearish. You could go fail to fill the gap. That's bearish as well. Move back down. You could fill the gap and roll back over, right? Because usually overnight lows are not secure. They're usually not the low. Okay, they're usually not the low. But what would change things? Okay, what happens if we go like this and start creeping back into range, right? That means sellers is not as strong. All right, and you could see if we can test this level again. If we take out this level and hold it, you're probably going back to the mean. And now, this is what very important here. Okay, if we just move down, okay, if we just move down out of balance, we move down again. Pay attention. This could be a bear trap. What if we did this? Come back, break this level, and then we break that level. Guess what's happening? You're going to go back to this side, and then it could propel that move higher. That would be a look below and fail. Okay, boom. All right, so with that being said, let's look at this in a bullish sense. Okay, got a big move. Remember, expected move has been broken, right? But I just showed you last week's lows. Okay, we do have 50-day moving average and demand down here. So if I'm a bull, okay, because I think dips are getting bought. Now again, this is scenario. When the market opens, I have to analyze it. Doesn't mean it just happens. Okay, so I would like to see this. You can gap and go. You can do whatever. Okay, so let's say we open, we gap and go. We go right here, break the overnight lows, come into the 50-day moving average in futures, and hit this demand. Okay, this is where you want to see what happens here. If we hit this demand, come back out, start making higher lows, well, I would say at least you're going to fill the gap. Okay, if you go in and start going, well, you're going to go here. If you break this, hold, you're going to go here. And like I said, if you do this, that would be a monster. Again, this is just a scenario. Okay, this is just a scenario. Okay, now as far as bearish, you're below all major levels. Okay, you're gapping lower. So your first thing, if you're a bear, if we hit this gap and we try to go back into range, we fail, you could roll over. You could take out the overnight low, test this 50-day moving average, and demand. I don't know how much farther you get out of that, but that is still a valid trade. Still a valid trade. Okay? Now, market's getting bought up right now. Okay? Now, what also can happen, right? Price is right here. What also can happen is you go back into range and you start holding yesterday's lows. Well, guess what? If you do that and you come up here, this is your next little test for those bulls. If you come up here and you fail, then that opens it up to that selling to commence and you could fall. Okay, that's what I'm going to be looking at today. I'm going to be super patient. It's going to be very volatile. Okay, let's look at the NASDAQ real quick. It's going to be similar, a similar setup. I just want to see what I see in NASDAQ. Yeah, I see the same exact thing, really. Okay, we're right here. Again, you got demand. That's where we popped. Right now, what do you have underneath this demand? You have an old gap that has not been filled. Okay, so if we really do get weak, that probably gap's gonna be in question. All right, we're already below the 50-day moving average in futures. Okay, now pushing up, right? So same thing, gap fill here, could roll over, then you get the bounce. All right, if you get that bounce and you go here and you do here, you're going up. And remember, you got single prints. That should not be very resistant if the market gets strength. Okay, now remember, Nvidia pulled back all the way to 840 right now. 840. So yeah, Microsoft's at 42020 is a good support for that. So there's a lot of levels like that. All right, so I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna sit back and just let the market tell me what's happening here. Remember, I would say probability is this is the move. Of course, I could be wrong, and I'm open for that too. But probability, we went farther than the expected move already at the last week's lows. Okay, in demand. Okay, those are things that are going against the shorts. Again, like I said. All right, so that is all the analysis. That have a game plan. I'm gonna sit back, analyze the market. Okay, hopefully everybody understood what I'm saying, made sense. Okay, so with that said, hopefully you can subscribe, set an alert if you enjoyed it. All right, please give me a thumbs up, and of course you can always follow me on X at Gonzo719. Okay, so everybody have a great day. Sit back, let the story unfold. Okay, and then you can take advantage of a short, a long, or do whatever you want to do in your trading plan. Okay, I know I got mine. Hopefully we're on the same page. All right. Hopefully this is a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.